so he'll be fresh for tonight. As Dima Zhilkin moves in, slides it back across. That was knocked away by Poletin. Verhoff, 21 goals this year in the Western Hockey League for Victoria as a 16-year-old. Bank down ahead is knocked down by Daxon Rudolph. Prospects for the Czechs. Played offside, being called against Canada. And now waved off as the Canadians tag up. Adam Valentini, the Toronto native, plays it back in the corner, looking for Beckham Edwards. And there is J.C. Lemieux, hit from behind in Canada's opener against the Finns. Did not return to that game, did not play against the team, or 2025 rather, IHF under 18, as it was a shot by Mathis Preston turned away. We're going to look at this line. Mathis Preston with the Ruck twins, Liam and Marcus. They were put together in the third period against the Swiss. Preston scored a hat trick in the third. Being put together with two players he's played with since the age of 6 in the interior beast. Landon Dupont, the 16-year-old star defenseman, gets the shot away. Poletin makes the stop on that. And Lukas Kalish, a 15-year-old defenseman for the Czechs, doesn't turn 16 until September.
A few months younger than Landon Dupont, same birth year. A good young player for Czechia.
Here's Verhoff back at the point. Verhoff, a long shot that deflects wide. Hacked back on goal by Thomas Russo.
Really good play up the ice, and just that little touch play by Liam Ruck to Preston. If Preston would have been able to handle it a bit cleaner, he had a lot of space, and there's a quick shot directed right back to the net. Test the goalie to make.
In comes Alessandro Diorio, rolls that wide. The Chartrand steps back up. And here is Kalish with it. Eligible for the 2027 NHL Draft. In Dupont and Kalish, we are talking about two players who were born after. Away comes Ryan Lynn. Vancouver Giants young star plays that in. And waiting for it is Simon Belahorski. Belahorski is something of a question mark for Spop, that a player can dominate their junior league but then not play in the Czech Extra League. Long shot by Rudolph, goes off escape.
And for the players' development, Alan Miller, the general manager of the Program of Excellence, he'll be spending some time in the NCAA rinks this fall.
Colin Fitzgerald sent that back in. Jack Ivankovic, the frontrunner to be Canada's #1 goaltender, will be at Michigan. Carter George, who plays a key role on both the penalty kill and the power play for Canada. Sends out the length of the ice. By Lemieux, and the return of J.C. Lemieux. Welcome, especially the penalty kill for Canada.
Verhoff jumped right out there again, reads the play just perfectly. That shot doesn't get through.
So away comes Ty Lawrence along with Russo. Sent back down, and a little one-handed action there from Poletin. Nice and casual play by Verhoff and sent down the ice. As Tomek slams his stick on the ice in frustration, and one shot for the Czechs on that power play, but Canada blocked 3 others. May scoreless here inside 9 to go in the first period. It's picked up by Liam Ruck, and ahead he goes to Preston. In comes Mathis Preston, busting in, and the stick was lifted. Rebound loose in front again, they score! Liam Ruck on a second try, pokes it home, and Canada's got a one.
Play next into the spot. This is Preston leaning in. Nice play by Hamas coming back. But there's Ruck right in the good position and just slides it over to Liam. There it is, Marcus to Liam, goal.
We talked to Matthew Turcotte, the Canadian coach, after the game about putting them together. He said, I know what you're going to ask. What took me so long? They're twin brothers. And this did not go down well with Czech fans, the hand of the ear.
No.
The Ruck brothers are interesting. They are twins, but they are mirror twins. Valentini works in. He shoots. Something of a Poletin rebound. That's turned away from Rudolph. One
by Adam Valentini to be alert and aware and intercept that pass, because it would have been a tap-in.
Here's Edwards. Beckham Edwards plays that back for Rudolph across to Verhoff. Lemieux. Loose in the corner now. J.C. Lemieux plays it down to Valentini. He shields off his man, but it's poked away. by Trefny. Marcus throws right and bats left. That's also quite rare. Novak with it. Tied up by Lawrence at center ice. And now move back to Kamas. Right size for a Kometa is a historic franchise here. Belahorski up for hook, but it's center ice. That's picked off by Ryan Lynn. Lynn slips it right back down to check zone. Poletin out to play it.
Return time.
Brought back in by Mathis Preston. Drops it back for Liam Ruck, and now Dupont comes in and lifts that wide. That's good way by Diorio. Poletin out to play it. Banks that back across right in the stick of Lawrence. He's up quickly. Now Jakub Vanacek back down the ice.
Ty Lawrence was the MVP of the USHL playoffs, helping Muskegon win the championship.
The Clark Cup. Herman Chartrand sends it back down the ice, and here's Bertus back to pick it up. Inside a minute to go in the Czech power play. 10 seconds to go in the Czech power play. Dominic Bertus, also a 2009 born, a 60 up at for twin brother Liam. Chips that back down as Reisnecker goes back. Angles there with Liam Ruck. And the puck frozen along the boards as Liam Ruck's trying to kick that free. Pass stolen by Preston. Mathis Preston down for Ruck. Here's Preston back with it. Slides that back to Liam Ruck at a point. It goes Rudolph, a shot that goes wide. Here's Verhoff with it. Verhoff in deep. Gathers the puck back up with that long reach. Shovels it back in front. Bouncing puck got away from Liam Ruck. Jumps in across the line for Verhoff. Has a look. Pulls that back around. Can't get the shot away. Now Rudolph with it. And Rudolph a long shot that goes high. Out the other side for Preston. Preston thought about the Michigan there. Back on it. Minute to go here in the period. Slides that down to Valentini. Valentini backdoor pass for Verhoff. Gonna drop that back for Preston. Then have a long shift it up.
Players of the past, the new GM in Vancouver.
Lynn feeds that back on the power play for Preston with a shot that's off the side of the goal. 30 seconds to go in the period. Preston back on it. Out there with the Ruck twins and Lawrence at the fourth forward. Here's Lawrence with it. Lynn back at the point. Lynn for Lawrence. Back to Ryan Lynn. Tees it up and shoots. A stick broke. But a check there also brought on. Preston ahead for Liam Ruck in the dying seconds of the period. And Canada will have a minute and 22 seconds of power play time to carry on, by the way. Early Slovakia 5-0 in the third period. So Sweden appears good to be the number 1 seed entering the semifinals. Running the table in the preliminary round by some wide margins. For Belchez. Winds it back across. That drop pass to Verhoff goes back across to Dupont. Dima Jilkin. Slides it back to Dupont. To Verhoff. Valentini. Belchez fighting for space in front. That pass was broken up by Reisnecker. Now Jilkin trying to poke that back. Gets it back. Here's Jilkin back with it. And finally poked back. Final second of the power play. Verhoff in across the line. For Liam Ruck back to Valentini. Adam Valentini. Flips that back to Carl. The penalized players back on the ice. One shot on goal for Canada. That power play remains a 1-0 lead. And Liam Ruck pulled that just wide as Verhoff is back in deep. Verhoff. Tied up in the corner. Has it back again. Winds his way in and shoots and fired that just wide. Valentini back with it. Looks down to Liam Ruck. And crisscross in the corner. Marcus Ruck steps up as well. And pokes that back in deep. Rumo. In behind the goal for Yuri. And Mathis Preston hustles back to get onside as that's flipped wide of the Czech goal. Kalish. Puck moves in as Callis is back to pick it up. For Hannes. Here comes Mathis Preston, a long shot. And that's stopped by Poletin, who gloved it down. Maxim Rudolph drops it back to Lemieux. Back for Rudolph in deep. Edwards works it free. Drops it back to Diorio. That shot goes off a leg and banks back in the corner for Lemieux. And book collide again. There were 30 Czechs in the NHL last season. 21 skaters, 9 goaltenders. That long shot taken by Dupont, stopped by Poletin. Belchev, centering pass, and a great chance in tight for Jilkin. Turned away by Poletin. Here's Carl's back with it for Dupont. Walks right in and shoots, and a kick save from Poletin. Jilkin winds across the top, flips it back for Dupont. And the Dupont shot was blocked by Neteros. That's Václav Neteros Jr. One of the former Colorado draft pick. Ty Lawrence comes busting in. Lawrence works it and shoots and put that wide. Russo back on it. In the corner for Lawrence. Kamenek. Tied up by Lawrence. And at the line, that's poked ahead by Verhoff to hold the line. Verhoff back on it. Centers it, that's tipped wide by Lawrence. Verhoff still with it. Pivots back in the corner again as he shields off Vanacek. Lawrence. Another late birthday for the Czechs. There have been 7 players on their roster who are not eligible for the draft until 2027.
Well, you've talked a little bit about Frantisek.
There's Mathis Preston jumping in across the line, trying to center it. Put it back again, but again it was knocked away. Reisnecker trying to work that free. Now, penalty coming to Canada. Back for Verhoff busting in. That was knocked away from him by Vanacek. Now, Edwards causing trouble for the Czechs on the forecheck, and Valentini as well. Edwards pokes that back end for Valentini. Verhoff was loose in front for a moment. 4-on-4 here. 7 minutes into the period. Valentini. Poletin couldn't poke check that away. Valentini back on it. Mario sends it back down the ice. 3 to go in the 5-minute major to Canada's Dima Jilkin. By Carls. Hook. Plays that back for the captain, Andre Rummel. And lifts it back down the ice. Inside 2 to go in the 5-minute major. Poked up by Liam Ruck and sent back down the ice. Two-on-one shorthand with Diorio. Lawrence winds it and shoots, and the stop is made by Poletin. Novak back with it inside a minute to go in this long Czech power play. And once again, Ty Lawrence causing all kinds of problems for the Czechs. Poletin move it away from Lawrence. And the rink
really fits. And Lawrence with a really good chance, and Poletin with a really good save.
Now wristed down the ice by Carls. Poletin had to leave that as Edwards was busting in the final seconds of this power play. Valentini breaks up that plus points and Scott Niedermayer. He did that in February. And then a month later, Ryan Lynn became the second rookie defenseman since Niedermayer to cross 50 points. Banked back out by Liam Ruck. He finds his brother Marcus. In with Preston, shoots. Oh, what a stop there by Poletin.
Just an example of what I was talking with Poletin. Watch the feed and then the lateral quickness right across and denies Mathis Preston. Just outstanding ability by Poletin, and Preston doesn't hesitate off the pass.
And Preston was frustrated. The net came out because he got the puck back. Marcus Ruck in for Preston. That's broken up. Rudolph brings it back in for Marcus Ruck. Verhoff has some time. Feeds back in front. Liam Ruck cued that wide.
All 5 players out on the ice for Canada right now were all first-round picks in the Western Hockey League. The 2 Rucks, Preston, Verhoff, and Daxon Rudolph was the first overall pick in that draft.
11 players in the Canadian lineup of the 25 on the roster played in the Western Hockey League last. Lifts out ahead. Finds Diorio. That shot was blocked. Diorio back on it. Now Lawrence. Winds back across, spins and shoots. Rebound back to Carls. He fires. And Poletin the save. The puck still loose. Diorio knocks that down. And again, Poletin couldn't freeze the rebound. Lawrence steps up. Fires it back around the glass. Belched's after it. Diorio. Started that for Lawrence. Bouncing puck in front. Belchez with a chance. Rebound. Diorio battling for it. Lawrence as well. And finally, I think Poletin's been busy in the Czech net since the play got back to 5-on-5. Canada outshooting the Czechs here in the second period, despite the Czechs having the long power play and the 5-on-3. And that was very close to Diorio poking that home.
Belchez with a really nice chance, and Poletin making sure the puck doesn't get behind him.
And getting poked after his trouble this year, but they lost that promotion series. They'll remain in the Finnish second league, Domestis.
Great story, organization. It's amazing what happens when they...
There's Lynn with a shot that was blocked up high by Michael Hartl.
It's amazing what happens when you make bad decisions like joining the KHL. That was a brutal decision by Jokerit. I mean, I know they had a Russian owner, but at the same time.
Valentini sends it back in front. That's just missed by Edwards. Brought back in by Dupont. Landon Dupont. Long wrist shot, tipped just wide by Lemieux. J.C. Lemieux. Dupont teed up for the one-timer, fires, and Poletin makes the save on that. Trefny lost the puck to Lemieux. Edwards back on it. 3.5 to go here in the second period. A Canadian win of any kind. Canada finishes first. The Finns finish second. The Czechs must win this game. This Preston in with Liam Ruck. Trying to poke that ahead. Ruma lost the puck to Ruck. And Liam Ruck pokes that back in the corner as Reisnecker picks that back up. Marcus Ruck worked that free for Preston. Mathis Preston winds in, has time, feeds that back. Here's Rudolph back with it. That long shot blocked in front by Ruma. Preston pivots back behind the goal. Lifts that back. Chartrand. Up ahead to Preston. Diorio with a shot. And Poletin makes the save. Marcus Ruck. Back to Chartrand. Rudolph a drive that's punched away by Poletin. Novak. And it's broken up by Ty Lawrence. Lawrence works it free, walks in and fires. He rattled that wide. Rudolph works in and winds out around 1.5 minutes to go here in the period. Some European teams up ahead for Edwards, trying to bust in. Almost knocked that away, and now behind the play is Ripa. Trying to stick up on Valentini there. And Diorio slides it in for Ty Lawrence, busting in. Lawrence in a long backhand shot. And the stop is
one team trying to close it out and finish first, and another team trying to find a way to get to the right side and playing a meaningful game. But Ty Lawrence goes over to the backhand. Goaltenders have to read the play. Poletin just shuts that down like nothing. It's like turning off your tap in the bathroom, and no chance for Ty Lawrence.
By the way, Keaton Verhoff has played 18 minutes through 2 periods. On track for a 20-cent for Liam Ruck. Chips it back down to the Czech zone. Landon Dupont plays it back around for Preston.
An understatement, obvious, yes. But what made Nick so good, and one of the things I always watch for defensemen, do they complicate things?
Fitzgerald flips it back across to Bowie. Conditions he exposed to top quality hockey. His billet is pretty good too, with the Jerome McGinley in his family.
For a year. Joe McGinley was playing at the Rink Academy in Kelowna, and
For the Rick
Gavin McCann line out for Czechia, so maybe the danger wasn't as high, but nonetheless a good play by Chartrand.
Jakub Vanacek turns it over to Valentini. Valentini plays it back for Lynn with a rocket shot that Poletin got just a piece of. Carl shoots, dribbles back in front. Lemieux couldn't get a shot away. And Lynn plays it back in. J.C. Lemieux back for Valentini. Fires, that's off the arm of Poletin. He lost track of it in the corner. And Valentini has it back. Valentini is taken down. Now Edwards' a shot. That goes wide. A funny bounce in behind the goal.
Great save on the first one on Gavin Betts. He comes off the goal line, reads it, position, shuts down the net. Outstanding by Gavin Betts.
Chance 2-on-1 shorthanded. Edwards working in, feeds it back across. That bounced away from J.C. Lemieux. And Lemieux back with it. Inside a minute to go in the Czech power play. Kallis. So, be aware of him coming into the box.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting, Gord, and he is a top offensive player, but
DuPont long shot. Stopped by Poletin. Valentini tried to scoop that through. 10 seconds to go on the penalty to Ryan.
Horowski, Hook, and Novak. It's 2 nights in a row they've done nothing.
Belchez on Canada's third power play. Ty Lawrence down to Belchez, pulls it back around and shoots, and Poletin makes the stop. DuPont back for Verhoff. Bobbled it for a moment. Now still trying to chip that back in. Verhoff knocks it down for Belchez. Back for Verhoff, in, shoots, and just missed wide. DuPont back on it, rolling puck. All right, up in front of that. Back across for Valentini. Tied up by Vanacek. Looks back in the corner for Lawrence. Belchez held by Lynn. And Ryan Lynn loose in the corner. Swings that back. Preston long shot, blocked in front. Rebound cleared to the line. And off the leg of Big That Warm. A new building coming here to Brno. Opening next summer. For Diorio. Now Diorio back on it. Pivots back in the corner. Slides that back to Rudolph for Chartrand. Shoots through traffic. And the puck deflected just wide. Rousseau back on it. Fitzgerald looks back for Chartrand. Back across to Rudolph with a drive, and Poletin makes the stop. Max is tied up in the corner by Rousseau. Bertus tied up by Fitzgerald as we approach the midway point of the third period. Belted down by Bowie. In comes Ty Lawrence with a shot, and that trickled just wide, went through the legs of Poletin and wide. As things are nothing for them. Lemieux, a win of any kind for Canada is enough to give them first. Back down to the Czech zone. 8:45 to go here in the third period.
Slovakia, so I guess there's some, but it go down to goal differential about who stays and who goes.
Yeah.
Just like the first place go to the gold medal game if you got 2 first place teams.
Yeah. Lining in, great look there for Valentini on the wraparound try. Edwards scores.
He's got his mind on this play. Nice little play by Valentini. It got deflected, but kind of skips off the pad of Poletin, but there's the skip off the block pass, but it goes right to Beckham Edwards, and he recognizes that Poletin has overplayed it a little bit. Makes no mistake. He doesn't have much room to work with coming around the net, but because Poletin was so far to his right, all he needed was a little bit of space, and he took full advantage.
Edwards, Marcus Rock. Preston shoots. That stopped. The rebound flipped wide by Marcus Rock, and now it's back to center ice. Fires that back down, and Valentini goes in on the forecheck. Mathis Preston. And now Edwards. Here he comes again. Drops it back to Rudolph. A shot, scores! Daxon Rudolph snaps it home, and Canada's got a 3-0 lead.
But Daxon Rudolph jumps right into the play here, too, and that's just an opportunity. Speck and Edwards looks up. He's being challenged, and I give it to you, Daxon, and you can finish it. Gives him the space, but recognizing where there's space and opportunity, the offense is dried right up.
Yorio rattled that wide. Halifax in 2023. And DuPont looks ahead and finds Liam Ruck walking in. Shoots, scores! Liam Ruck's got his second, and it's 4-0 Canada.
And Landon DuPont doesn't complicate things, just make it more challenging if you want to make it hard on yourself. And Landon DuPont, of his many significant qualities that make him special, understanding when you got to make a difference and when you got to initiate and when you don't.
Rice. Marcus Ruck works in, and Ruck rolls off his stick as Rummel lost it. Marcus Ruck centers it. Mathis Preston, a quick backhand shot turned away. Now back at the point. Lynn fanned on that. Rousseau feeds it back across to Marcus Ruck. Lynn's shot blocked that time. And Rousseau backhands that towards the goal. Now the puck back. Minute and a half to go here in the third period. And this won't be the last time that these players will see each other at this age group. We'll see them at the under-18s in the spring, a lot of them. And incoming World Junior Championships. Chartrand long shot. And a stop made by Poletin. Diorio. That shot scored. Diorio snaps that by Poletin. Used Lemieux as the decoy. And Allison
opened up 1-0 entering the third period of both those games, but that gets the water bottle, goes short side over the shoulder on Poletin. Great release.
Diorio, one of the 5 players who won gold with Canada at the spring IHF under-18 tournament last year. The second overall pick in the 2024 OHL draft. Again, the Western League drafts 14-year-old players. The Ontario and Quebec League draft 15-year-olds. A lot of power play time in the second after Canada took a 5-minute major. But the Canadians held firm and then blow it open in the third period and beat the host team by a score of 5.